Hello and good evening, everyone. I don't know why I said this in such a creepy way. Welcome back to another episode of Traveling the World using Google Maps Street View imagery. Today, we'll be going to Italy, but not what you think. Not to the beautiful beaches, the old castles, the nice mountains, the sunsets, the fields, the wine hills. Nope. We'll be going to Milan, to Italy's dirty northern brother. I don't think that makes any sense. We'll be traveling Milan's ring road. A city like Milan does have more than one ring. Actually, I should probably show you. This is Milan. And, well, you do see one inner ring, one very inner ring. This ring here, the bigger sort of big street highway, and if you want, you can even somehow make out a spot this like bigger outer ring. But we'll be traveling this yellow ring that I have traveled myself, not necessarily going around in circles. But I lived in Milan and I've used parts of it, at least. And I think that one special thing today is that the very enthusiastic people amongst you can even travel this route with public transport. There's a bus following the ring road in one way and one bus following the other way. I believe the bus numbers were 90 and 91 or 91 and 92 or something, one going clockwise, one going anti-clockwise. So yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of things. Probably just a lot of traffic, hectic, busy, dirty, warm traffic. But why not? Why not? It's still kind of cold where I am, so let's just get right into the urban heat. I was thinking that we might start right here, underneath the Milano Centrale station. In this little tunnel, and I was sort of thinking to go anti-clockwise. I don't know why. Maybe it has to do with where I lived when I lived in Milan and kind of the paths I took in the morning. But I really don't know. And if we're going to do that, of course, we should change the street side. I think that to speed this up a little bit, I mean, we're still going to have a great time, but to speed this up, let's imagine we are on one of these scooters, because then we can go through traffic like. And I think it should be good fun. So let's get started. Esselunga in front of us, that's a... No, we're already stuck. Well, it didn't take us very long. Let's get like this. Esselunga is a... Oops, where's the truck? Esselunga is an Italian supermarket. I believe one of the oldest Italian supermarkets. Oh yeah, there it is. And yeah, what can I say? It's quite nice. The thing I have to say about Italian supermarkets is that the food they have compared to, I don't know, German or British supermarket, just everything is the same. Well, they have a couple of more things and different things, but everything is kind of the same, but everything tastes better. The bread you buy, the cream cheese you buy, the vegetables you buy, everything just has more flavor to it, or like a nicer flavor. Yeah, this distinguishes Italian supermarkets from supermarkets elsewhere in Europe. Corriere Espresso Courier. But yeah, I'll be doing less talking I have to check a little bit that I stay on track. Maybe I'd be even seeing some of my friends here on the road, but I doubt that. I mean, Milan is a very big city. I think it's also fair to say, I mean, I don't want to insult anyone, and it's probably also wrong, but I always had the feeling that living on this ring road is not the greatest, the cleanest, the quietest. So I think if you wanted to go to more richer neighborhoods, you should cut in at some points, but anyway, that's not what we are interested in necessarily. These streets probably mean nothing to you, but I don't know, to me they kind of like, they put a feeling in my belly of, not home, but of familiarity perhaps, and of wanderlust. Makes me want to go back somehow. Oh, by the way, here's in Esselunga. Esselunga, I believe, means long S, but I also don't know. This weather that we have here, I mean, there's not much else interesting I could report on at the moment, but the weather that we have, it is April, shot in April. It seems to be kind of cold. People wear sort of jackets, but then again, Italians tend to wear jackets even in summer. Like this guy, a little puffy jacket. So it's like, I guess, 10, 15 degrees perhaps. And beautiful sunshine. If you ever go to Milan, that's the weather you want to have. Don't go in August. Whatever you do, don't go in August. Are we right here? Yeah, I think so, because the ring road makes a sort of strange little turn. But let me just confirm that. Yeah, it's a bit irritating. Oopsie. Now everything goes to pieces here. No, don't worry. We're back on track. The other thing you notice is that constantly some shop or some delivery service pops up, kind of where I click, which, you know, is a feature of Google Maps that's kind of nice, I suppose. Helpful in wayfinding or place finding, but for the pastime that we are doing here, for the pleasure we are having, this is a bit, yeah, irritating perhaps. And we all already, like, if you have watched the Fifth Avenue of New York video, in these dense urban spaces, it's really hard to stay just on the road and don't click on anything like wrong somehow, because there's just so much stuff, and you know, if the cursor thinks you are clicking on a building, then kind of thrown out of this sort of meditative state. Yeah, it gets a bit more complicated here. Let's go up, I would say. Oh, sorry guys. Jumped off the bridge. Well, let's stay down then. And we are closer to the people. Closer to the ground. See, that's what I'm talking about. You know what is also interesting? I should just tell you the story. You know these critical masses where cyclists come together to protest for more rights and space in the city? To protest against cars, basically. And I've joined these, well, some of these, with my friends in Milan, and on one occasion we were going on this highway here with the bikes, and of course, you know, you're a couple of hundred cyclists, I would say, or at least a few hundred, yeah, and then you can really occupy space. And yeah, what can I say? It was really cool to go on the motorway, proper motorway with the bicycle. It keeps on throwing me down though. Like, even if you think this massive infrastructure, this bridge here, is just built so that more cars can pass underneath it. And so perhaps that they have a few parking spots here, I don't even know. But it's insane. I mean, is your city doing these kind of things? The other thing with the ring road is also that that some parts of it are very congested with cars and other parts are rather empty. And as I used to be a cyclist, you can imagine that this was part-time pleasure, part-time pain. Yeah, nice food truck. Yeah, Milan is the kind of place where some informality happens between the buildings. You know, it's such a, I don't know, capitalist, money-oriented city in many parts of it. But in the shadow of these buildings and of the towers and of these movements of, like, you know, brokers and private equity people and consultants, there's lots of interesting counterculture happening. You know, some leftist spaces, other rather informally run cultural spaces in all sorts of places. Sometimes just temporary, sometimes, you know, occupied building situation, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, I believe this might be one of these buses that I was telling you about. Let's check which number it is. Number 90. See, it says circolare destri, which means circling right, so clockwise. Yeah. So maybe if we are lucky, we also find circolare lefty. In case it has not been obvious by now, Milan is a buzzing, dense city that hardly has, anything nice in it. I mean, of course there are nice parts to it, it's just that somehow, for the most part, if I was just to live on the ring road, I don't know. Banca Popolare. This is actually not the advertising slogan. I have to say though that with this scooter that we've rented for the day, we are making really good progress. I'm kind of happy with myself here. In the beginning I thought, like, when we couldn't really street view ourselves through the tunnel, I thought, might be one of those again where we kind of get stuck like on the Öresund bridge, but actually we are just flying, which is pretty cool. What I do also like about Milan is that it's very dense and that the houses have very, very rarely just 5 stories, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, for the most part. Some even more, of course, and of course also some less. I mean, it's not like everything is a high rise, but it kind of makes me feel like it's a really big city. And oh, by the way, blabbering away here, 91 Circolare SX Sinistra. Circolare Sinistra. I think these 90 and 91 buses are going all night. Oh my god. This might be the famous Navili, by the way. You know, if you go up this road, following it to the more touristy places, it will look a bit cleaner, but it's kind of cool here with the graffiti. Very urban sort of space, huh? It's kind of nice. These Navili go a very long way, if not even into the... Don't want to say anything wrong again. Into the Mediterranean Sea. But yeah, we're still on track. I don't know if you feel the same, but to me sometimes it's really confusing if the roads are just kind of equally big and go hardly apart, but ever so slightly, and I don't know on which track I have to be, so I have to check all the time. Oh, what's this? Old Wild West. Well, this definitely is not ancient Milanese architecture. This one is maybe here. Here, the best way to understand why Esselunga is called Esselunga, because of the... No. You know, all early COVID days in Milan. I actually lived there through the COVID pandemic in Milan when basically when the first wave hit Europe, and Italy was especially hit hard. There were all these pictures of Italians queuing for food with masks and gloves, but not in front of Lidl or Aldi, or not in front of, a little corner store. Esselunga. Esselunga is to Italians what Rome is to Italy, or Naples perhaps, the heart of the country, comprised into a supermarket. Oh, come on. I have to say that I was planning to make a little bit of a shorter video today, and I think, well, we're kind of halfway now, so it's not gonna be much shorter, but somehow I really enjoy it. Makes me almost think that maybe we should do this again, traveling the other way around. And see if we are any quicker. Bit of an older bus, not like historic and nice, just, 80s, 90s probably. Oh, Milan, I do miss you sometimes. In a dense city like this, it's always such a, I don't know, such a feeling when you travel around. Even when you like come home from work and you're a bit stressed and you end up at a big intersection, and of course it's very busy, but like you finally see the sky, or you can look a bit, look further than like 100 meters or something, which is kind of a freeing sort of feeling. there were various times in this video where I was tempted to say that I have been to the street, but actually I don't think I have. Kind of goes to show how similar things look. I think if you don't sort of put the GPS marker down in your Google Maps of your home or of your workplace, it could be really tough to find your way back. But yeah, this is another striking thing. Even though there's like so much of everything, of people, of buildings, of cars, of perhaps no, not trees. There's hardly anything to see. Like there's an overload of everything, but everything is very underwhelming somehow. Here we almost went wrong. This is the sharpest turn we have made yet. And also I believe the only place so far where we were on some like upscaled cobblestones. But we are driving home. We're bringing the baby home now. These are like older buildings next to this other Esselunga, which really carries itself like a motif through this video. But these are like a bit of older buildings, perhaps former somewhat industrial spaces that are kind of nice. Because that's another way of like, you know, creating some sort of air or vision in the city that like, even if the buildings are close to one another, not necessarily like dense in terms of population, but just like hardly any space to just like stand. If the buildings are lower, that's kind of, it does so much already, you know. This here, I don't know if we can go any closer. Well, Mercato Comunale. These are marketplaces, and there are several of them throughout the whole city. Well, there used to be markets inside. Some of them are abandoned now. Well, markets where they sell vegetables and whatever other things. And some of them are, I believe, kind of abandoned now or maybe used as storage spaces. Other ones are pretty much in use. We used to go to one up north of the ring road, well, in the north, and yeah, just to have aperitivo and a glass of wine. 5 glasses of wine. Yeah, what I wanted to say is that in Milan, the thing is that there's nowhere for you to stand. You have to walk and keep on walking. If you stand on the sidewalk, someone will run into you. You know, if you sit on the bench, someone's gonna sit next to you. If you cross the street, a car's coming at you. You're constantly hustling. And then you just kind of pass out into bed at the end of the day. This is a new development here. Massive scale. Yeah. Used to go running here. So sometimes it does open up a little bit with these ring roads, you know, like now we are going through some kind of a lower density space, and you know, in these places you can go for a run even within the city, and it's kind of nice. Like Milan really gives you that urban vibe, but not like as I would imagine it being in, I don't know, southern Italy, where it's also in the cities of course very urban, but I think people would be lingering around more and like hanging out with one another and be more social. In Milan, everyone's got to go somewhere, and you don't even know where. And eventually you also pretend that you have to go somewhere, but actually you don't. Yeah, that's how your survival instinct has to adjust in a city like this. I could, of course, kind of tell more stories about my time in Milan. I don't want to bother you with that. At the moment, perhaps it would be better to make a sort of journey from place to place instead of just cycling the ring road if I wanted to tell some stories, but yeah, cannot do everything. One thing I can do, however, is to point out a nice building. Actually, I can't because it's not on this street. My bad. Yeah, a nice building. Wait, are we even on this? Is this even the ring road? Viara Abruzzi? Yes. I mean, I know the street. It's just I wasn't sure if this one here is on the ring road or the parallel street next to it. Because you really do never know. It's a maze. It truly is a maze. Which kind of makes it so exciting, but also exhausting. And I mean, it's fair to say, if you see a street like this, well, you know, there are all these parking spaces. Okay, there's the tram going, that's great. And there are a few trees, and, you know, tree-lined streets are... There are a few of them throughout Milan, so it's not like everything is lost, but kind of. Piazza Loreto. Mussolini was hanged here. Maybe I put this in the thumbnail. Oh no, maybe not. But Mussolini was hanged here. Hello. And yeah. Sometimes I used to live up this road here. And if it was good weather, you could see the Alps in the background here. Just looking at the end of the road, but at the moment you can't, I think. Is it worth to go any closer? Will it change anything? No. Maybe here in the background you see it's a bit darker. Maybe this could be a mountain. Don't want to waste too much time here. It's just too bright as well. Ah, there you have it. Or maybe these are the clouds actually. Naja, but imagine it looked kind of something like this. So you do get your little treats, I would say. Yeah, anyway, here in these parts, just wanted to say I don't have to look at the map, but already going wrong. These parts are very familiar to me. Some friends of me were almost mugged here once, and next to the central station, I guess in most cities, it's always a bit of a dodgy area. You know, dodgy for some and perhaps not so dodgy for others. And you notice something in front of me? A familiar face. Mr. Esselunga has been so kind to do this journey together with us, to come all the way back to where we started. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this somehow, to go down memory lane. I could imagine doing this the other way around. I could imagine doing it on the inner ring road too. I could imagine doing it on ring roads of other cities. All of this is possible. But this was really fun. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I see you next time for something exciting. Bye bye.